Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, you have my October TBR. So as I have mentioned and alluded to in a couple different videos so far, like the vlog that just went up on Thursday, I am not participating in any readathons this month, and I also have a slightly new way of picking my TBR. So I'm still focusing on some things as I go through that I have been throughout, some overall goals, but this way I will make sure that I'm able to meet those goals. Before I get there, however, there are a couple books that I'm not going to pick from these bowls that you see behind me. Those are some things to keep up with my goals that I'm going to make sure to include, and also some carryover books, a couple of which I'm not sure about. So first off, to make sure that I'm keeping up with my goals, I have 2 Brandon Sanderson books because my goal is to finish all of his books, all of his backlist before 2023. With the exception of the Reckoner series, I will never read the rest of that series. That means that I'm going to read another one of the, almost said Artemis Fowl. I'm going to read another one of the Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians books. I'm going to read book 4. I may also get to book 5, but I'm not sure yet. And then I'm going to get to book 2 in the Stormlight Archive, Words of Radiance. I am just under halfway through at this current point because I'm filming it a few days early towards the end of September for Way of Kings. So I've got to get moving on that. I think I'm actually going to read this one physically and not via audiobook. I need to read at least one Stormlight Archive book per month for the rest of the year to get to that point. The other goal that I had, I didn't really set in stone, but I wanted to make my way through the realm of the Elderlings, and I was doing that through audiobooks. And I had made my way through the first 2 trilogies, but I stopped. I paused in July to work through SEASL books, and I have not gotten back to it yet. Part of it is because I'm not the biggest fan of the narrator for the Rainwild Chronicles because it's the same as the Live Ship Traders series, but I want to get back to that, which is why I probably will read Words of Radiance physically and keep working my way through Robin Hobb via audiobook so that I can finish that series before the end of the year. I really want to get there because Becca in the Books just posted her vlog where she finished the last Fitz book, the last current book in the realm of the Elderlings, and wow, I'm ready for the pain that Robin Hobb will bring. So for the carryover books, like Birds in a Cage, I have not gotten back to this since the end of August when I started it, and it was on my August TBR and I didn't get to it. It was a quest book for Magical Readathon. I don't know why, because I was really enjoying it, but something is like, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know. I wanted to tab it up. I didn't want to put the effort in, but I want to read this one. I have about 5 days left in the month, and I have 3 books remaining on my September TBR, and I don't have any more weekend days left for September, which means that I am not going to get to all of these. I'm probably going to get to 2, 1 for sure completed, so some of these are going to carry over. We have the Arc of Saint. This is probably going to get finished in September. Then we have Crime in Progress. This was a chance card for Bookoplathon, and then we have A Brightness Long Ago by Guy Gavriel Kay. Those, I'm going to complete the TBR, even if it's into October. Now that brings me to the next segment of, and the new part of my way of picking books. So I went through and I wrote out or typed up all of the books that I want to get to, and I put them into the bowls behind me as well as one cup in different categories. We had arcs because I need to get to my arcs. Those are my Neck LE arcs, so I won't be holding up any books for those, except for maybe one if I pull it. Then we have the fiction books that I have, and that includes both fiction books that I got at the really big, really cheap, really good book sale, as well as book box books and other fiction as on my TBR cart. And then the last one is nonfiction that I have mostly from the book sale. So I also have a cup for series, so I'm going to start with that one. In this cup, I have all the series that I've started. Some of these I have physically, some of these I do not. So If I don't have them, then I will return later in the month and I will somehow have gotten a physical copy. But I'm going to pick out only one of these, and if there's only one book remaining in the series, then I just have one on my TBR. If there's more, then I have more. The first one is Spin the Dawn. I am really excited about this because I have loved Elizabeth Lim's books, and spoiler alert, I did buy some books on Book Outlet. That's gonna come in a separate video, and I got the other part to this duology. So onto the TBR goes Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk. Next we have arcs. So for this, I'm going to choose 4 arcs. My goal is to get around 16 books on the TBR, not too many. Okay, so I've shuffled those up. First one we have The Women of Rothschild. This is a nonfiction arc. Not sure how big that one is, but it is one of my older arcs. Then we have The Book of Everlasting Things. I do not remember what this is about. Next we have This Is My Jail. I believe this is also a nonfiction, but it's not going to go for my nonfiction category. Let's see if we get the one that I want. Okay, so this one I'm excited about, the one I was thinking of, but this is We Deserve Monuments. Okay, so those are the 4 arcs minimum that I'm going to tackle this month. Next we have nonfiction. So far on my TBR for sure, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 books. So I'm gonna add 2 here and then 4 more from my other jar, which I'll talk about in a second. Okay, the first of the nonfiction, we have A Very Private Woman. This is one of the nonfiction books that I got at the book sale. Interesting. This is, the subtitle says, The Life and Unsolved Murder of the Presidential Mistress, Mary Meyer. Should be interesting. One more nonfiction. A Mind at a Time. So an education related book. We shall see how this goes. This is an older education related book, and I'm really interested to see the perspective and see what's changed in the time since this has been published. Now we get to fiction, and since I have 10 books so far, we are going to choose, hold on, let me count that. Since we have 12 books so far, I'm going to choose 4 out of my fiction bowl, which includes book box books as well as others. So there are a few that I would like to get on this list, so let's see if I pull them. Okay, Island of the Aunts. This looks like a cute middle grade. It'll be an easy read. Okay, we have our first book box books. We have The Bronze Drum. Okay, the problem with my TBR cart is there's not quite enough space to easily get things in and out. Anyway, we have The Bronze Drum, which is historical fiction based in Korea. I'm excited about this. 2 more. Okay, we have another historical fiction. We have The Red Palace, which is another TBR tailored book recommendation book. Interestingly enough, Red Palace is also, I believe, Korean. So 2 Korean historical fiction books. I've heard good things about this, so I'm excited about it. Okay, I'm kind of crossing my fingers for one of the books, but let's see what our last pick for the month is. Okay, there we go. We have a young adult book, maybe the only young adult book, and that is Darius the Great Is Not Okay. So this is about an Iranian boy. I don't know much more about that. I think it's like coming of age, young adult, and I've heard really good things about it. That was round 1 of the new way of picking my TBR. I think it's kind of cool to do it this way, even though one of the books that I was thinking about did not make it on this list. Given the given the length of some of these books that are on this list, it's probably a good thing that that other book didn't make it on the list. We'll see when I actually get to it, with the exception of the arcs that I have on this list. Here are the books that I have for October. I don't think it's too shabby of a goal to get through. So in quick succession, we have the 2 carryovers from September. We have the fiction choices. We have a young adult. We have 2 historical fiction both Korean. We have a middle grade. Then for series, we have a duology with Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk. Then we have nonfiction, an education related book, and a historical biography. And then to meet my Brandon Sanderson backlist goal, we have The Shattered Lens, another middle grade, and Words of Radiance, Stormlight Archive. Let's see how much longer it is than the other. It is 80 pages longer, so it is 1,080 pages, but it is so floppy. I really like it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.